50 kilometers south of Moscow, where Dmitry Demushkin has brought his men to train.
We're looking for a spot that won't be visible from the road. We want to fight with knives, not spend the day on sentry duty.
The leader of the Russians movement, he is watched by the police, and with good reason. Dressed in camouflage and armed with knives and machine guns, these men seem to mistake themselves for paramilitaries.
We want to fight and give the Russian Federation back to the Russians. We have nothing against other nations, but we want Russian control and white control in Russia.
After a little exertion, the photo session. Dmitry carefully manages his image, especially after the latest opinion polls, which show that almost 60% of Russians are open to his ideas.
We want to radicalise society and for people to not only back our slogans but to fight to defend them. That's why we're working on our propaganda, videos, music, concerts and high-profile actions like the Russian March.
For the march, Dmitry swapped his camouflage fatigues for a three-piece suit. This time he is not a warrior but a politician.
Nationalism has never been so vibrant. The authorities are forced to listen to us. They can't close their eyes anymore.
He claims that 25,000 people marched on November the 4th. Support has swelled since last year, when 2 football supporters were killed in a fight with men from the Caucasus. Violence that sparked a wave of xenophobia and clashes at the foot of the Kremlin wall. Symbolically, Vladimir Putin, the Prime Minister, visited one of the dead fans' graves. But at the same time, he condemned the riots, organised by the far right.
The authorities have found themselves in a tricky situation. The Kremlin cannot fully play the pro-Russian nationalist card, because if it does, it will find itself confronted with an anti-Russian nationalism from the Caucasus.
Other parties like the LDPR, which is close to the Kremlin and led by the unstoppable Vladimir Zhirinovsky. Liberal or nationalist, his organisation has played the pro-Russian card fully in this campaign. He denounces the subsidies that Moscow gives the Caucasus republics at the expense of other regions.
Let's just compare money allotted for road building. The region of Ryazan got 500 million rubles from the federal budget. Chechnya got 14 billion for the same thing. It's unfair.
Their manifesto is to fight against what they call discrimination against Russians in their own country. For Dmitry, that is good news.
Other parties adopting our ideas is very positive, especially on the eve of an election. They're just giving more power to our cause and strengthening our movements.
As for the 4th of December, he is not planning to vote because he doesn't want to support the people who are harassing him. He is currently being investigated for extremism and inciting racial hatred.